If you're the same as me and you are currently expecting a baby, whether you know the gender or not, baby name idea videos are really good to get some inspiration. So today I'm sharing with you our top 10 baby girl names that we love, but we just won't be using. So if this sounds interesting to you, stay tuned, give it a big thumbs up because it really does support our channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe and tap that bell so you get notified when we upload every Monday and Thursday. And let's get into this baby girl name list. If this is our first time meeting, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. My name is Beck and I'm currently a mum to 3, and the names that I'm sharing with you today, we really do love and adore them. We take a lot of time and effort thinking about the meaning of the name, where it's ranked, and maybe the ranking was the reason why we're not using them, because we try and stick away from those really popular name choices. But at the same time, having 3 kids expecting our 4th, we are really having to think about the rounded nature of saying all of the names in, you know, consecutive order and the different combinations with girls versus boys, and it's definitely a lot harder the more kids that you have. So today I'm going to be sharing the name, maybe the reason why we couldn't agree to it or why it's not making our list, the ranking that it's currently sitting at for 2022, and the origin and the meaning of the name. So let's get right into it. The first name that is on our list has always been a top contender, and the only reason why we are not using it is because Michael and I cannot agree on the variation that we want. So I like Sophia, Michael likes Sophie. Both of these names are French origin and they mean wisdom. So it doesn't really matter kind of which variation because it still has the same meaning. However, the ranking is where this name differentiates. So for Sophie, it's currently ranked at number 75. So it's not as popular. However, Sophia is ranked at number 5. And I think that's probably the reason why Michael doesn't want to use Sophia, is because it's quite a popular name. However, I feel like if you were to name your daughter Sophia, then she could have the nickname of Sophie or Soph. It's one of those names that we really do love, and I've taught a couple of Sophies and Sophias and they were beautiful little girls. But we just couldn't see eye to eye on which way we were going to swing, and so that's the reason why it hasn't made our list, sadly. The second name is Eloise. I really love this name. I love the fact that it has so many different nicknames. You could do Elle, you could do Lou, you could do Louise. I really do love names where you can shorten them. My name is Rebecca, and so I go by Beck or Becca or Becky, and it's nice as I've gone through the different seasons of life to choose which name I feel like using, and I feel like Eloise has the same potential. It's French origin and the meaning is famous warrior, so it's got that really strong meaning to it, even though Eloise is really like feminine, and I don't know if light is necessarily the correct word, but it's just really elegant is the choice of words that I think I'm going to pick with this one. And it's currently ranked at number 25. So it's not too high in the ranking, but at the same time, it's not in the top 10. So it's a pretty good choice, but it's just something that Mick and I couldn't see eye to eye on, and we're not going to be using for this puppy. Third name is Hazel. I love the name Hazel, but then at the same time have reservations just because hazelnuts and hazel the color, and yeah, it's one of those names where if you want an object name, then this is a really pretty one. And personally in my family, I have hazel eyes, and so I thought that could be a good homage to me being their mum, is calling them Hazel. It's currently ranked as number 31, so it's getting a bit higher than Eloise, which is good. And it has the English origin of the hazel tree. So I think this is where Michael probably got lost in it becoming a good solid name for our daughter, is because he really does like meanings as well as the ranking. But because the meaning is just an object, I think that's the reason why this name unfortunately got chopped off our list. The next name on our list I think is really pretty, and that's Penelope, and it's ranked just slightly higher than Eloise at number 26. And this one is Greek origin, and it means a web over her face, which is a very interesting meaning for a name. I like the fact that Penelope can be shortened to Penny. I don't know, once again, if Michael was necessarily in love with this name, and that's probably the reason why it hasn't made the final list for this baby, but it's such a sweet and pretty name, and I think Penelope is really good for both baby, little girl, as well as adult. The next name I really, really love, and even Michael liked it, and the only reason why it didn't make our final cut is because of the nicknames, and just thinking about her as a little kid and then her as an adult, it's just a bit tricky. And that name is Winifred. I think Winifred is so beautiful. Winnie's a really cute little girly name. Could be Freddie as a nickname as well, and the ranking is really good. Like if you want to have an unusual name, it's currently ranked at 1,712, so it's definitely not a popular name. And the origin for this is Peace Friend, which is so beautiful. So Winifred, I think, is a really lovely name, and I don't know why it hasn't stuck for us. I'm thinking maybe even within our kids' name choices, it just didn't fit in with our family, but it really is a beautiful name. If you're looking for something that has a great meaning and isn't so popular, then this is a great choice for you. The next choice is a family name, and that is Margaret. Margaret is my nan's name, and I think it is beautiful. It's currently sitting at 126 in the rankings, and it's English origin, and the meaning is pearl. I think this is super sweet, and I also really love the fact that Margaret has the nickname of Peggy. I think that is just so unique, so cool, and it's such a beautiful name, and I think having that family history there is something that it's appealing for us, and the only reason why we're not using it is because it doesn't fit in with our kids' name choices. Our kids' choices are quite unusual besides Zoe, and so having Amira, Zoe, Phineas, Margaret, it just seems like it doesn't fit in too well, and that's the reason why we haven't picked it for our fourth and final Bobby if it is a girl. Number 7 is Eleanor. I like Eleanor. I think it's interesting because it reminds me of the Beatles song where Eleanor Rigby sits at the church, and its ranking is pretty decent. It's currently sitting at 22, so it's getting a bit closer to top 10. Obviously not in the top 10, but it's getting closer. However, its meaning is unconfirmed for some reason. So there's been some really famous Eleanors, but there just doesn't seem to be that heritage behind the meaning for it. It is of French origin if you're looking for that sort of a name. Eleanor's also really adaptable through the phases of life because she could be baby Elle or little Ellie, and then when she's older, if she wants to have that formal introduction, then she could go by Eleanor. I think the reason why this one didn't stick was just because it wasn't something that we were like, yes, we love that name. It's a beautiful name, but I think because there's no meaning and because we weren't like head over heels for it, it just didn't stick for our family. Number 8 is Phoebe. I love Friends, and I think Phoebe is the funniest, kookiest, loveliest character there. And Michael and I actually were going to call Phineas Phoebe if he was a girl, and we aren't going to be using it for bub number 4 though. I think because Phineas and Phoebe sound too similar, so we'd have Amira, Zoe, Phineas, Phoebe, which I guess it could potentially work because it's like A, Z, and then 2 F sounds in the middle, but we have picked a different name that we love, and that's the reason why that one's not on today's list. But unfortunately, for a couple of reasons, it hasn't made the final cut. Number 9 is Emma. Emma is such a beautiful name. I love the simplicity of it. I think it's just beautiful, really. And M is a lovely nickname. The biggest reason for us not using it is it's ranked at number 2. It is an extremely popular name, and here in Australia we have the Wiggles, and Emma was a Wiggle, and I think that probably influenced a lot of people using that name choice. It is Latin in origin and the meaning is universal, which is rather interesting. but we love the sound of Emma, but it's just the ranking and the meaning is a reason why it's just not going to be working for our family. Our 10th and final name is Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a beautiful name. It is once again a family name. It is my mum's middle name and it's also Michael's sister's name. But the biggest attraction to the name Elizabeth is you have so many variations of nicknames. So our little girl could have gone by Liz, Lizzie, Beth, Lilibet. If you wanted to go down the whole Queen Elizabeth route, Lilibet would be a really cute nickname. It's ranked at number 16, so it's actually getting pretty popular. I don't know if that's because The Crown was released and people have thought about Elizabeth again potentially being a name. It's Hebrew in origin and it means God as my oath, which I think is a lovely meaning, and it's quite astute for Queen Elizabeth because she's literally serving on the throne as her oath to God, and like she's not stepping down. Anyway, whole sidetrack, but Elizabeth is a really beautiful name. I think it's great as a little girl's name as well as a mature adult name, but unfortunately, once again, like Margaret, it's just a little bit too old school for our current kids and it would sound a little bit out of place, and for that reason, we're not using it. Those are the top 10 baby girl names that we love but won't be using for a variety of reasons. But if you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does support our channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to join our YouTube family, and tap that bell to get notified when we upload every Monday and Thursday. If you have any suggestions for our little family, I would love to hear any baby girl names that you think might go well with Amira, Zoe and Phineas. So please comment them down below, because this parenting gig doesn't come with a rule book. We only have each other, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye!